Welcome to Agenda Edina, a program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. City Manager Scott Neal has trimmed the city's 2025 budget by 1%, as requested by the City Council when it approved the levy increase in December. The City Council approved a formal budget amendment at its February 4th meeting, finalizing a budget of $47.3 million with an 8.44% levy increase for 2025. The approval included a spending reduction package totaling $545,000. Some of the items removed from the budget include a half mile of the Public Works Department's mill and overlay program, the chatbot feature on the city's website, eliminating or delaying a revision of the Southdale District Design Guidelines, and reducing money allocated for equipment replacement.
I was able to work with the department directors in our police and fire and public works and parks and all of our other directors to find areas where we could reduce spending that would have the least amount of negative impact on our residents. I presented the package of reductions to the council at the February 4th council meeting. They received those. They had a chance to look through them ahead of time. They asked me some questions about it at the meeting, and then they approved the package unanimously.
The early 2026-2027 budget projections, with current service levels and planned projects, require a significant levy increase that is not palatable to members of the City Council. The Finance Department is leading the effort to get ahead in the budget planning process to examine all options for reducing those projections. 2 work sessions were held with the City Council earlier this month to provide members with a better understanding of each department's services before a retreat to talk more about the budget in March. A small housing project is being considered on Vernon Avenue. Abundance Properties is proposing to replace a single-family home at 5516 Vernon Avenue with 4 townhomes on the 1-acre site. Abundance Properties presented a sketch plan last month to the Edina City Council. Members gave non-binding feedback on the project.
The super exciting thing about this project is, one, the size of the lot, the location of the lot, and really what we're planning to do with it. Our project adds density along a busy street, so the families coming in are one building community, but also more likely to use that transit. Which helps the environment overall.
To move forward, the developer would need to request comprehensive plan amendment, rezoning, and site plan review. Anyone who has driven, walked, biked, or traveled in any way through Edina over the past 12 years has experienced the work that engineering director Chad Milner has supervised. The impact that civil engineering can have on a city and a region is significant. And as demonstrated at a recent awards presentation, the city of Edina has one of the best in the business overseeing its engineering department. Edina TV has the story.
We're going to be putting in a new lift station here starting next year.
Prior to working here, I worked for a consulting firm, municipal engineering consulting firm, for 11 and a half years. Had the opportunity to work for the city directly for many of those years, so I was very familiar with projects and people and decision makers.
In the early 2000s, I was a project manager for Short Elliott Hendrickson's Minnetonka office. When he started, like any young engineer, it's a challenge to learn where do you put the foot on the gas and where do you take your foot off the gas pedal. He kept watching. I knew he was watching. I knew the brain was always engaging. You could see the wheels spinning. And he picked up on that, and that's when he began to move on those things and really progress. And it was a bummer, quite frankly, when he said I was moving along from Short Elliott and taking the job with the city of Edina.
We hired Chad Milner to be the assistant city engineer. Not long after that, the city engineer left for another position, and we promoted Chad into the role that he's currently in now.
But I really like the projects, the scope of projects. The community is highly engaged in the projects. There's funding to do projects. That makes it fun as an engineer to actually get to see your projects be scoped out, studied, and built.
I've known Chad for over 20 years. Chad works on numerous projects, all the way from conceptual development all the way through construction. Project types include roadway, transportation, traffic projects, utility improvement projects for water and sewer, structural projects for roadways. I could go on and on.
He really has a very important job in the community because the community depends on the infrastructure that Chad has designed and built in this town.
Chad is, quite the athlete, natural athlete. Anything, I think, that's out there with a ball or a stick or running or riding a bike, the guy just excels at it.
Being active and doing races is real similar to planning a project. You have goals of what you want to get to. You got to develop steps to get there. You have to develop a plan. There's a schedule, and you take incremental steps to either get to your race goals and hopefully get the outcome at the race event.
He's very intelligent. He's in the community. He's talking to people.
And when we do that, we want to make sure we meet the guiding principles, right? The comprehensive plan.
He's listening to what people say about where they live and really calculating that into the engineering design and principles that he uses.
This year's Engineer of the Year is Chad Newman.
We had multiple entries this year, nominations, which was a wonderful problem to have. And Chad really rose to the top. The work documented that was submitted for his work at Edina really showed his commitment to not only the profession, but his community and his staff.
Thanks to the association. Thanks for everybody showing up. Highly appreciated.
I may have received the award from the City Engineers Association, but that's a team effort. We've had great staff, great residents, great city council. It really takes a team to do all these projects.
I think the job of being a city engineer is so critical for any city to have somebody leading that department. You're not only leading your own troops, but you're interfacing a lot with the public, and the public has to have a lot of confidence in you too. And we have confidence in you as a council member. It makes everything so much easier.
I think it just means that we're doing the right thing when we can be recognized for an award like this. It's not just me, it's the team, it's the city, it's the projects. I think we're all going in the right direction when it matters for infrastructure. So I think it's just a great honor for everybody involved.
Thank you.
Other awards recently received by the Edina Engineering Department include co-winner in the environmental category for the Morningside Flood Infrastructure Project and honorable mention in the transportation category for the Blake Road Reconstruction Project. Both awards were given by the American Public Works Association's Minnesota chapter at its conference in November 2024. Thank you for watching this episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.